Have you guys heard the news? Listen to this.
After her arrest earlier today, actress Lori Loughlin faced a federal judge. The Hollywood star and her famous husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, who each posted $1 million bond, are accused of paying $500,000 in bribes to get their daughters into USC.
Oh, $500,000 in bribes. How about it? Welcome to America. That's what I've got to say about this. You know, I think that there's a lot of outrage right now around this story of, not only Lori, but, Olivia Jade. There's like 50 people named in this, this scandal, as they're calling it. But the funny thing is that this should prove to you even more of a reason that you need to go get some money. Hey, I'm Coach Carroll. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to simulcast this on my podcast, so thanks to everyone listening on the podcast as well over on the Sales Factory. You can find it on all the podcast platforms. But yeah, let's talk about this scandal, dog. How about it? These parents that have made lots and lots of money are now in trouble for paying a guy to cheat on the test. Funny thing about all of this is the exact disagreement that I had with my college when I decided to drop out. As many of you know my story, when I was a senior in high school, I started my first business and I decided that I didn't want to go to traditional college. I didn't want to let my mom down, but I decided to go to a junior college, I guess you can call it, KCTCS, and at the time, the first couple semesters weren't bad, right? I had like a public speaking class. I had, some computer science classes, things that, I truly do believe kind of helped me a little bit. But the issue arose in my third semester when I went to the university and I said, look, I want to take business finance, right? It's a 300 level class. They said, DJ, you can't do that. You need to go take a couple of prerequisites. And I said, okay, well, what's the prerequisites? They said accounting 201, okay, and history of rock and roll. Are you kidding me? I had to take history of rock and roll before I could take business finance. So I don't feel bad that these colleges got scammed because, in my opinion, college in itself is a scam. I think that especially for myself, entrepreneurs like me that are trying to start businesses and stuff, listen, the only value I really see in college, obviously if you've got to be a doctor or something like that, you've got to have this by law, but it's the relationships, it's the people that you meet there that you can create these bonds with, so that like when you come out of college, now you have these connections, right? But I've got to tell you, even doctors will go and practice under doctors, right? That's where they learn how to make things happen. And, they might learn some of the book stuff, but you really get your hands-on experience underneath of a mentor, which I think this scandal, I hate to even call it a scandal, right? Rich people have been paying their way out of shit for a long, long time. And I'm not hating. I'm just saying that's one of the many, many reasons why I want you to be rich. That's why I struggle every day in my businesses to become wealthy, so that I can change the world and do things that I want to do. Listen, this scandal is proof that the colleges are in this shit for money. And people are going to say, oh, the colleges didn't know, blah, blah, blah. Listen, that's like the Gambino crime boss that just got whacked, right? It's like saying he didn't know about the illegal activities. Listen, everybody knows. I'm based in Louisville. We had this big scandal about the sports stuff that was going on with Adidas a year or two ago. This is America. This is capitalism. This is what happens when you have finances. You can make things like this happen. You can buy your way out of trouble. You can buy your way into groups and circles. It's no different than, when someone goes and donates a large amount of money to a school to get a building named after them or something in that sense. And again, I have to really make you guys understand, I'm not hating here. There's no hate coming from my mouth whatsoever. I think that it's very interesting that this is being called this huge scandal, right? Now, there's going to be some people that are in trouble here, right? And my question is this that nobody's talking about. Everybody wants to go and say, oh, listen, these superstars, these people that used to be on TV, they paid their way in. there's 50 people named in this case. So my question is, who are the other 50 that went through this one guy? One guy. 50 people went through one guy. Do you seriously think he's the only guy out there doing this? Come on, man. Don't play yourself like that. You know better. This is just the way it works. There's no changing it. Money is power and power is money. The people that have the money have the power. That's just America for you. There's no reason to hate on that. Understand it. Use it to your ability. It takes me to my second point, which is, this Forbes list that came out. Now, everybody's freaking out. Kylie Jenner's not self-made. Bezos this and that. Listen, there's such animosity. There's such a high level of complaining that the American system is so terrible, right? That these people can be wealthy. Listen, Kylie Cosmetics did what L'Oreal and these other big, name brand companies took years and years to do because she harnessed the power of social media. Now listen, does she have the money to get her lips fixed and her butt tucked and her boobs lift and whoever knows what else is, those Kardashians do with the plastic surgeons? Absolutely. I'm not denying that, but you have to understand that their mom has put them in a position to be able to have this power, more importantly, this influence. Because hopefully you can understand the business marketing message here is that if you have influence, you can drive sales. And that's why I think personal branding is so very important. We help a lot of State Farm agents with my ad tech business, a lot of insurance agents, really, not just State Farm, but and this is the same thing that I did with my power washing company, right? Anything from Kylie Cosmetics all the way down to power washing, the rules are the same. You have to get notoriety, you have to get attention, you have to be top of mind aware, and you've got to create influence in some form or fashion. It really is discouraging, I think, when we start to vilify these successful people for living life outside the rules. I don't condemn them at all. I think it's invigorating and really empowering to people that if you want to achieve a certain level of wealth or a certain level of influence, you can make things like this happen. And here's what happens. The people that complain the most about this are the broke people that gave up on their dreams, their ambitions, and their hustles a long, long time ago. Don't ever forget that, right? You'll never see a dog bark at a parked car, as one of my good mentors, Chuck Bauer, used to tell me. So, listen, I encourage you to continue the hustle. Don't get distracted and pulled away by all of the shit that's in the media. Yes, there's scandals. There's scandals every day. There's people doing illegal shit every day, okay? That's just part of it. And to think that, you need to spend time convincing the world otherwise, or convincing the world that, we might be able to eradicate this completely, it's not going to happen, okay? It's just like socialism can't prevail without dictatorship eventually taking over, right? You have to understand that some of these things, there's a yin and yang effect, right? You can't drive an automobile without CO2 emissions, a gas-powered automobile without CO2 emissions, right? There's a give and a take to a lot of things in the universe, and that also goes true for the laws of success, right? Jim Rohn taught me the laws of reaping and planting. Sowing and reaping. There we go. I was going to say planting and harvesting. That's the same thing, but sowing and reaping. Springtime's here, right? Like, this is the last week of winter when I'm recording this. And so for me, looking at the different things that are going on, I'm like, people are getting distracted. They're not getting their seeds ready. They're not getting ready to go into planting season. And then what happens is when harvest time comes around, they're upset. Their feelings are hurt. They're aggravated. They want to complain and bitch and moan. Life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you deserve. And my buddy Jim Rohn taught me that many, many years ago. Wish old Jim Rohn was still around. I never got to meet the guy. It's a huge influence on my life. I would encourage you guys to check out his books. Also, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel here, putting out videos as fast as I can, guys. It's tough, right? I run businesses. I have an ad tech business. I've got my exterior cleaning business. I've got my real estate business. And then, also the coaching and stuff that I do, public speaking, Sales Excellence University. It's a loaded question. I love when people are like, well, so what do you do? It's like, oh, Jesus, I'm just an entrepreneur, man. Let's just sum it up that way. But, don't get distracted by the scandal. Don't get sucked into all the haterade going around on Kylie and Bezos and all these other wealthy people that made the Forbes list. Listen, bro, if you're mad, if you're complaining, you're probably just mad because you ain't on the list. And that's it. Hey, make sure you hit subscribe, like, and share the video. Talk to you guys on the next one.